All right. Well, this is the time in the evening where I get to sit back and relax and to relieve my mind of some of the mental roadblocks that I've got stopping me doing my marketing. We've got Clea Jones here. She's going to be talking about things from a marketing perspective. And in fact, I met Clea through someone who's just come onto the show, Dennis Giannouts. So Clea was working on a website and a magazine that Dennis has put together for his magazine's called Adapt. In fact, I've seen the magazine. I'm actually in Auckland, caught up with Dennis a couple of days ago, saw the magazine, absolutely fabulous. And Clea's done an amazing job with some of the copy in there. It's been really good. So, and the magazine is sensational. I know that it's been getting Dennis business as well already. So, and it's only just been published. For those of you that haven't met Clea, you will get to meet her tonight now. She has spent 25 odd years working in journalism, in copywriting, content marketing. She's been helping businesses, like both large and small, to stand out with some quite powerful messaging. So she's really good at that side of things. She does know, be warned, she does know all of the excuses that everyone is going to make about why they can't do things in this marketing realm, what's holding them back. And so make sure you get all of those excuses out there in chat so that she can address all of them. She's heard them all. There's none there that she hasn't heard. So there is a prize for anyone that comes in with an excuse for not doing things that she hasn't heard before. So if you're here because you're looking for to really get over yourself, then you're in the right room. And Clea is here to talk to us about how to uncover some of those roadblocks, how to get through it. So let's give a big round of applause and welcome to the stage, Clea Jones.
Hello, the virtual stage. Thank you so much for having me, and lovely to see everyone. Give me a thumbs down if you can't hear me. I hope you can hear me okay. I enjoy swimming pool more than marketing is we'll get to that. That's definitely on my list, Kel. Thanks for popping it in. And hi to everyone who's watching online a little bit in the future. I know I've got a couple of clients who are going to check out the recording. So hello, I'm thinking of you. All right, I am happy to answer some questions towards the end. And if you would like a copy of the slides, you'll see my email address and where you can follow me on social media as well and keep in touch. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen. Another thumbs up. Can everyone see? And surprise, I pitched 9 mental roadblocks. I've upgraded. You have a bonus mental roadblock. So it's actually 10 because I've been having so many conversations with people, especially at the start of the year. So I added some extra content to the end of this presentation. Thank you for the introduction, Nick, and hello again to everyone. If we haven't met, my name's Clea Jones. My career started in the year 2000 when I moved to Sydney to become a journalist and talk radio producer for 2UE. So that involved learning to understand information and share it with people in a really consumable way very quickly. Radio was fast-paced, it was intense, it was full-on. I lasted 6 years and then I burnt out. Went away, lived in Canada for a year, and when I came back, I just kind of happened to knock on the door at Yahoo, which was Yahoo 7 at the time. It was just starting to really grow in Australia. I lied about knowing HTML. I still don't know HTML, but that was actually literally how we were updating the homepage at the time. So that was my role, posting stories on the homepage and liaising with the different teams. And I stayed at Yahoo for 8 years, and really we all built our skills together because everything was so rapidly evolving. And I ended up product managing for 7 News, so running the 7 News website, and we built an app and launched an app and had lots of fun putting breaking news and getting stories up online. When I finished up at Yahoo, I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? I had a 2-year-old. I didn't have a lot of time to commute to the city. So I thought, well, okay, I'll go back to what I know and I'll be a copywriter. Had a fantastic time doing that. But of course, that career has evolved. More of a content creator, more of a content marketer now. And somebody described me the other day as a persuasion artist. And I thought, well, that fits really well because marketing is the art of persuasion. It's sharing information, giving people value, and persuading them to take action. So I've claimed that. I do have 2 boys now. Rafferty is 12 and Chester is about to turn 8. And we have a lot of fun. And when I'm not hard at work at my computer or with the kids, I've got an e-bike. And I love to hit the trails. Some friends of mine have built this amazing network down on the South Coast. So I try and get down there where I can. And the battery means that I'm never out of breath, and it's a lot of fun. All right. What am I going to be talking about today? Not so much marketing. A lot of people have their head around the why, and they have their head around the how, but they're just not doing it. And I'll have chats with people. I'll give them ideas. I'll see them in a few weeks' time. They haven't crossed the threshold. So that's why I put this presentation together, because there's just so many things that we tend to tell ourselves that hold ourselves back. When I looked into this and had to think about it, it's really imposter syndrome that's getting in the way. We all have that anxiety. Marketing yourself means putting yourself out there, and that means putting yourself at risk. If you market yourself, there's a risk that somebody's going to complain, somebody's going to say something nasty, that you're going to fall flat on your face, that you're going to end up feeling, embarrassed and uncomfortable. And I think what comes from that is we start looking for literally any excuse to not have to do it. There is nobody that I know that doesn't have this fear and doesn't have this stress when it comes to marketing. I've sat with people who would absolutely surprise you and talk to them about their marketing and had these excuses come out. So it's absolutely normal. But if you want to grow your business, if you want to get the customers you deserve, and if you want to help as many people as possible, which is why a lot of us are in business in the first place, you've got to overcome these roadblocks. So that's why I've put them all together. To reiterate the importance of marketing, if you weren't aware, more than 50% of content that's consumed comes from organic search, not paid ads. So you need to be out there and putting yourself in front of people. Surveys show, you probably know, you've seen this, 91% of professionals say, yes, we get success with content marketing. And the reason it's successful is that you're not asking for people's time. You're giving them value. You're giving them something for free, rather than just trying to go sell, sell, sell. And that's the way that you're building trust and you're building credibility, and people are getting to know you. So there's a stat there, email marketing generates 36 for every dollar spent. It's pretty exciting. Even if that's on average, the potential is there. So we need to be marketing our businesses. It's a must have. All right. Let's get into our 10, and I'll try not to keep you too long because I know people have things to do. Nobody cares what I have to say. So when you're talking about your work and what you are 100% passionate about, your friends, your family, the guy at the gym, they might start to glaze over. It's kind of not very interesting to them. You can tell that they're not listening. You think, okay, I'll be quiet. That's because these people are not your target audience. The saying that I keep in mind, what you seek is seeking you. So it's a very old saying. For every little bit of information you have, every bit of knowledge you have to share, there is someone or some tens of thousands of people sitting there right now thinking, goodness, I wish I knew the answer to this particular question. So when you're holding yourself back from marketing, think about those people that you can help and how interesting this information is to them right in this actual moment. They care what you have to say because they want to know. Number 2, now a case study with this. I have an amazing client who is a self-managed super fund advisor. And we worked very hard together on a magazine, but I noticed that he is just hesitating over the final touches. And I said to him, what's going on? And he said, I just don't think the information is thorough enough. Because he sits in this world where self-managed super is what he absolutely lives and breathes. And he has completely forgotten that for any of us, basically, this is all interesting, new, need to know stuff that we do not have already sitting in our brain. Something happened with me similar. I was chatting to someone, blah, 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 SEO, blah, 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 SEO. And he went, hang on, what is SEO? To me, I can't imagine a person on earth doesn't know what SEO is. But yes, there are still people out there who need it to be explained. When you explain it, you don't have to be the world's top expert. If you're sharing this information with somebody who doesn't know it, you're the subject matter expert and you're the one that they're going to turn to. So just try and put aside the fact that all this stuff is spinning in your brain so constantly that it just doesn't seem interesting or new. It always is to the people who want to hear it. All right, number 3, I don't want to overwhelm people with information. You have probably noticed this as well. You put a post up, you get likes from the same 5 people pretty quickly, or 6 people. One of them might be your mum or your partner, or, you know, a random person that you kind of met at work 10 years ago. They're just always there hitting like on your status. Everybody has their little mini collection of super fans. I know Dennis, who I've done a lot of work with, I always make an effort to like his status. And Kel, I like, you know, I love to hit like. So you start to feel like, oh my God, I'm only being seen by this really small group of people. So maybe I'll just start posting only once a week or only once a month, because they must be getting sick of seeing me. But if you look at your views going back in time, say I post every day on LinkedIn, it's a different collective of people who are seeing my posts every single day, and it's going to add up to however many 100 or 1,000 during the week. A trap that we fall into, we all learn to read as children, and we all learn to read as stories with a beginning and a middle and an end. But in our world of social media and content marketing, information just isn't consumed that way. Nobody, or very, very few people other than your 6 special super fans, is consuming your content like it's a book. They're dipping in and out. They're coming back to you after months. They're probably only seeing, you know, maybe 10% of your posts. So you can relax, you can share things more than once, you can say the same thing in different ways. Don't panic about overwhelming people, because remember, especially if you're doing organic content, only a small selection of your audience is going to see every post you make. And I've written there, volume creates volume. So the more you're posting, the more people are seeing it. All right, I'm no good at creating content. You become a business owner, and all of a sudden you have to be a content creator. And if that's not your comfort zone, if you don't feel tech savvy, it can be very stressful and very time consuming. So you have a couple of choices. You have to put content out there for your business. So you can figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to learn, I'm going to figure out the tools and create the shortcut, and I'm going to make this a priority. Or you can outsource. So you can have a team member who, wherever they're based, is helping do the work for you. You can reach out to a freelancer like myself, somebody who's very skilled and who can take it on and get it done faster and better than you. Or you can employ a whole agency, which has a huge team of people, and they can come up with all different kinds of things for you. It just depends. Saying no good, you're no good, unfortunately, is not an excuse, because we still all have to do it. This is Kel's. I'd rather be in the pool. We'd all rather be in the pool. I'm lucky because I love creating content. I actually spent all Saturday like sitting like a little pig in mud with my laptop on my lap making social media posts. And it's just absolutely my happy place. But it's also the reason I exist. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Maybe you do have a little war room once a month that you sit down and allocate the time, or you find someone who is good at it, who doesn't charge the earth. You know, I have clients who spend $300 with me a month, and we, you know, they've let me know their budget, we work within it, or you can just keep spending. But yeah, you're going to have to get help if you don't have time to do it yourself. But the other easy win is create 6 months worth of content or 12 months worth of content, and then look back and go, okay, what did we post in January that we can post again? Okay, we wrote that article, it went really well. Now we're turning it into a video. We're not going right back to the drawing board. Or how can that article be a lead magnet, or 10 different social media posts, or a presentation or a press release, and we can recycle that content, and then you're not going back to square one, and you've got your afternoon to go for a swim. And one day, Kel, I'll make it up to Thailand and come for a dip and check it out. Now, this one, to be completely honest, I would rather that you slap me in the face than said this to my face, because people have said that to me before. Marketing doesn't work. I'm like, okay, because you posted a few things, because you put up one post a week and nothing happened. Firstly, marketing is like your fitness routine. You're not going to get results unless you put the steady and consistent effort in. Secondly, it's not working because you're doing it wrong. Do you have your target audience clear? Do you have your offer at the end of your marketing clear and your call to action? Do you have your SEO dialed in? Do you have your messaging right? What opportunities are you missing? If it's not working, go back, start again. It's always a matter of testing, trialing, and just keeping on going. I've got more slides on this because it starts to make my temperature rise. This is just an example from Search Engine Journal. So they post more than once a day, probably, 3 or 4 or 5 pieces of content a day, and they're getting over 1 million unique visitors a month. We don't need audiences that big to get results, but they're doing it because it works, and other big brands are doing it because it works. My final kind of drive at home on this, I had my graphic designer create this template for me. When somebody says something nice, I quickly turn it into a piece of content, really quick, really easy. I didn't even ask because I just said their job title, not their name. This post got me $8,000 worth of business. I just happened to throw it up, and somebody who's been following me, who I've worked with in the past, went, you know what? I was just sitting here thinking, God, who's going to help me get this done? Right person, right time. What you seek is seeking you. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. Speaking of complicated, the next challenge that we all run into is how do we keep coming up with ideas? And again, this is a mindset shift. Ideas are not finite. There is absolutely no limit to the number of things you can talk about and the number of ways you can talk about them in your business. If you want to get in a habit, just keep some notes on your phone, have a note app, email yourself with ideas. When you see a good article, email it to yourself, email it to your team, and you'll start to kind of look at the world from a content perspective. I actually went skydiving a couple of weeks ago, and I was sitting in the plane and I was thinking, I don't want to do this. And then my other brain went, think of the likes, Clea, think of the likes. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to post this on social media. So it's a really embarrassing, bad video, but it got fantastic engagement. Literally everything is content. Of course, know your audience, do your research, put some different types of posts. You can't constantly be posting, here I am by the pool, here I am skydiving, mix it up. But when you get into this mindset, truly everything can be a social media post that you can relate back to your business. If you would like a copy of the slides at the end, this is my list of kind of ways to shape your content. If you think about the frequently asked questions that are probably already living on your website, or that your customers come to you and your sales team with every single day, that can be probably 25, 30, 40, 50 different pieces of content. You can put a bit more effort into case studies with some nice pictures. Sharing your story is really important. It's quite a long list. I was talking to someone the other day. They said, well, I have a crane company. Should I be doing a pet of the week post? I said, of course, everybody's going to engage with a cute picture of a dog. Just to sidetrack for a little bit, now you're coming up with ideas, and this is great. How are you going to filter them out? A formula that I have learned is out of 6, 3 to educate, 2 to feel, and 1 to sell. So 3 of your posts are really going to be those value-adding FAQs, how to, educating your audience. 2 are going to be, your pet of the week, your feel good, something to make people go, hey, this is nice people. And then the last post out of 6 offers something tangible, remind them that you've got a special deal. Sometimes as marketers, we forget to actually tell people what we're selling while we're just, sharing nice pictures of ourselves with our dogs and jumping out of a plane and having a lot of fun. So if you're getting overwhelmed and feeling like you've not got the balance right, that's just a really good, simple formula to follow. So I hope you find that helpful. Now, another client, 10,000 followers on LinkedIn, doesn't like it when people brag about themselves. Database of 20,000 clients, doesn't want to annoy them with newsletters. So how are we going to grow your business? Do you think that Jeff Bezos is saying to his team, oh, we're Amazon, we don't want to annoy people? Do you think that Domino's kind of is sitting there reassessing the fact that they send their subscribers 5 text messages a week about deals and offers? They're not. You're a brand now, you have to market your business. I've heard it said, this is one from Dale Beaumont, that if you're not annoying at least one person a day, you're not marketing your business enough. If people don't like it, they'll unsubscribe, they'll unfollow. You might get 1 complaint out of 100, but if you hold back because you don't want that one nasty email out of 100 people that you're sending to, then you're missing out on 99 potential customers and advocates for your business. It's a really big one that you have to get over when you're promoting yourself as a business. But if you just can't stomach it, then start sharing emails that are coming from your business rather than you, and posting content that's coming from your business rather than you. That's kind of a workaround if you just can't stand the thought of showing up in people's inboxes constantly. And number 9, I hate the way I look. Don't we all get kind of a fright when we see ourselves on camera or hear our voices? And there's just so many of us that never ever hold our phones up to our faces because we just cannot quite stand the thought of it. Somebody said to me, Clea, you don't owe anyone pretty, which is something that I remind myself. And what I think about too is when I'm sharing content, when I'm doing videos, people are interested in what I have to say a lot more than how I look. So that helps me get over it. Another tip is to just do it. Just give it a go. You'll get used to the look of your own face. You'll get used to the sound of your own voice. The more you practice, the more you will be able to just deliver a piece to camera and get it out there without stressing. And you'll notice the feedback, because familiarity breeds trust. This is something a lot of real estate people do really well. If you got on a train and your favorite actor or your favorite sports star was sitting on the train, you'd have the feeling that you know them. You'd feel like you could talk to them once you got over the kind of initial excitement, because your brain goes, hey, this is someone I know, this is a friend. And this works in the world of small business as well. So when people are seeing you and they're seeing you talk and they're seeing your nice, happy face, they're actually forming a bit of an emotional connection and a level of trust with you. And you're elevating yourself above the people who are just putting out content without the nice pictures, without the nice photos. You're definitely giving yourself the edge. It's worth pushing through your own block to get through. All right, number 10, this is the one that I added, and especially in today's world when we have a million tools, a million platforms, a million options, a million messages. How can I market my business? Because I just get overwhelmed. I'm full of ideas, and marketing is like a massive jigsaw with a lot of little jigsaws inside it, and there's all these different pieces, and I don't know how I'm going to put this jigsaw together, so I'm just going to go, it's too hard. You have to start somewhere. Start with your goals. What do you want to achieve from your marketing? Who are you selling to? Once you've got that figured out, you can start to think strategically about how you're going to attract their attention, how you're going to keep their attention, how you're going to turn them into sales, and how you're going to turn them into repeat customers. You don't have to be on every platform. You don't have to be on every channel. Start with a few, build it out like the legs of a chair. Put together a calendar so you know what's coming, get it all out of your head and onto a schedule, and work with a team who can help you so that it's not constantly spinning around. I added this slide, which is the many, many pieces of the content marketing jigsaw. This is something that I help people break down. There's so many different types. You've got your social media to attract attention and your website with your SEO. You've got your lead magnets and your different assets that are going to kind of land in people's inboxes. You can be talking and presenting the way I'm doing tonight. Then you've got your emails, your follow-ups, your newsletters, your I'm still here. Hey, don't forget about me. Here's something special. Here's me offering more value. You can keep going and extend into your ads and remarketing so that people who have visited you can see you again. And a lot of people forget this missing last piece of the puzzle, which is something tangible to offer. So a really simple formula is to have something free that people can consume and get to know you, have something cheap so they can try your services, and then you can upsell to ongoing or a larger package. Again, if you want these slides, I'll send them through. Try not to get too overwhelmed. I've also got a checklist that you can download at the end that kind of covers this and breaks them all down. All right, this is my favorite quote: after what you seek is seeking you. Michelle Bridges said this in an episode of The Biggest Loser. She said, those excuses, that's all they are. And that really resonated with me, because it's just words that your brain is saying to you. You're telling yourself it's fact. It's not fact, and you're just saving yourself from discomfort, really. So yes, people do care about what you have to say. Your information is new information to the people that need to hear it and the people who haven't heard it before. Yes, there might be other people saying the exact same thing, but they may as well hear it from you. Your content is not being consumed like a book. It's not linear. People are dipping in and out. So don't get into that headspace that you have to kind of keep sharing something absolutely new in a sequence all the time. Practice, you'll get better. If it's killing you and you want to be in the pool, get someone else to do it or recycle your content. If content marketing didn't work, the major companies wouldn't be doing it. Ideas never stop. So don't tell yourself that they do. There's always a new idea. There's always something that can be content. No matter how small you are, if you're a team of 2, if you're just your own, if you're kind of 5 or 6, try to have a big brand mentality and market yourself like a big brand, because we all want more leads than we need. It's kind of the number one goal for all of us. And stay calm and get help if you need to, and break things into little steps. So that's my whole presentation. Let me jump to the door prize. I've got 2 more slides, this one and some details where you can contact me. If you would, I hope you would like this prize. I can have a look at the SEO issues on your website, give you a report on how you're ranking, what you're doing well for, some recommended keywords that you can plug into a tool like the one that Nick mentioned earlier. These are the ones that don't have a huge amount of competition but do have decent search volume. And I'd be really happy to look at your home and about page copy and just kind of see where it can be up and jazzed and where you can refine your messages. So the value of that is $2.95. But if you do miss out on the prize and you want to jump on over to this link and hold up your phone to scan the QR code, or I can send it to you afterwards. I've got it priced at $179 for anyone who's here tonight. And I've also got an extra package that will give you 12 briefs that give you an absolute outline of all those special touch points with headings and keywords. And then you can plug this into AI or your SEO tool and get that score that's kind of 89, 90 over 100. And if you don't need anything from me now, please follow me on LinkedIn or Instagram. You just have to search for Clea Jones. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And my email is there if you would like to get in touch. So that's all from me. And thank you so much for coming. Let me have a look at the chat and see if there's any questions. What you seek is seeking you. Love that. Yep. I hope that's helpful. Yeah, business name. Yeah, totally. Vlad, if you don't want to put your own name out there, that's an option. Although people love a personal connection. So you can, it just depends. It depends on what you're doing. But people like doing business with people. So maybe you can kind of build some confidence or try some different things. But it's totally up to you. Did anyone else have any questions? Oh, Nick, you're on mute, but I guess my question.
Let me try unmuting. Yeah, anyone's got a question, jump in and ask a question. Clea has a ton of experience in this whole area. So if you do have a question or, about anything, now's your time to ask it. So just come off mute, put your hand up, drop it into chat, whatever's going to work for you. One thing I would pick up, though, is just picking up from Vlad's business. Vlad's comment, I should say. Someone once mentioned to me that, you don't want to be, it's better to keep separation between you and your brand. I always come back to thinking that Richard Branson was someone that was very big into creating content around himself, which actually then promoted the brand as well too. So he was very much the face of the business and still is.
Yep, that's a really good point.
And I think Tony Robbins as well too. Like Tony Robbins is very much, he runs a very large series of businesses and puts himself out there too, doesn't he?
When you're small and growing, people want to do business with, it depends on what you're doing, but people want to do business with you as a person. And you can test and see, okay, what's getting open when it's from me? What's getting open when it's the business? If you're at a point where you want to sell, then you do have to start kind of separating yourself a little bit from the brand. But that doesn't mean that emails should be coming from just the brand in general. It can still be a person within the business. Yeah, see, Vlad, but this is the focus group of you. Just because like we all find marketing annoying, but we don't find marketing annoying when it's what we want. And so I always think of the jeans that I buy. I always buy from one brand. I never open an email from them until the day I think, gosh, I need new jeans. And then they're showing up in my inbox. Yeah, it's a kind of catch-22 necessary evil of life. But the one thing that's for sure, if you're not there, then you're not getting customers.
I do have to ask you though, Clea, what are your favorite apps and tools that you use for your marketing?
That is a good question. I mean, I am really getting deep into the GPT side of Chat GPT. So I have a custom GPT that knows exactly how I write, because I'm so tired of Chat GPT just regurgitating yucky stuff. So there's words that I've told Chat GPT, don't use these words. And there's ways to write headings that I've told my GPT, never write headings like that. So I'm just really always looking for ways to shortcut the process. And another tool I've just accessed is Market Muse, which is like Neuron kind of on steroids. So it's not just telling you how to write a good article, it's telling you what on your website can be optimized, and just giving you kind of more ways to win at SEO. So those, I guess, off the top of my head, are two of the tools. And my team and I, because I have a graphic designer, we use Canva a lot as well.
Yeah, Canva, I think, is one of those go-to tools for anyone marketing these days, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyone else got any questions? Actually, just on that real estate, where Vlad was asking about real estate, that's a really good example, because I know that I get lots and lots of mail coming in my a post box from real estate agents, and one of the things I got to thinking about is thinking, well, why are they posting all this stuff in there? It's like, I'm not in the market for buying, renting, selling, house. And one of them explained it to me at one point was that, people might, buy or sell a house once every 5, 6, 7 years. Now, what they typically do is they go and have a look at, maybe, or they'll go onto realestate.com. So they'll start to look at agents, particularly for selling. They might go and sort of look for agents that are there. But there's a principle in marketing, which is, was it frequency and recency? So if people don't know who you are, then who are they going to go? They'll just Google it. So, but people often want someone they want to trust. So often it's, the person you've seen most of all coming through that letterbox on a regular basis that is the one you trust. So what's your comment around all that?
If the other thing to add to it as well is that if your face is putting people off, well, then those people aren't your target market. You want the people who look at your face and go, hey, I want to work with this person. There might be a few people who listen to a podcast and go, oh, that's terrible information, but there will always be the people who do. So you're speaking directly to your target audience. It doesn't mean that there aren't other people included. So I think, the real estate agents they're trying to appeal to the people that they want to work with as well. And it's totally okay if that's you.
All right. There is another comment there. David Fisher gets the prize for noticing changes here. Paul Kennedy has now gone from pink to green.
Love it.
Any other comments or questions that you've got? This is a good opportunity to really sort of pick the brain of someone like Clea, who sort of has worked with across so many businesses.
Kel, have you got your hand
All right,
up?
I've got Kel.
Yeah, look, I actually want to make a statement, and Clea knows this. Like, you're talking about, the importance of actually just keeping on putting it out there and how much, email marketing actually works. So some time ago, I actually reached out to Clea. I hadn't talked to her for a long time, and there was something she put out there that just resonated after like literally weeks, months and months, probably years of actually receiving your emails. There was one that actually sparked a conversation, and that, by the way, has not gone away. That there's still some stuff in the background for me, but I just want to really resonate again. What you're saying today is just keep on going. You just don't know when the right time is going to be. You could be talking to the right person, but not at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
You just keep on going, and if they don't want to hear from you, they'll unsubscribe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Can I tell a funny story?
Go for it.
My partner, who I have now, I met in 2008, and that was the year that I got married to somebody else. But we were Facebook friends, and neither of us can recall anything more than a 2-sentence conversation. We worked together, but we didn't know each other, but we were Facebook friends. So we lead nurtured each other for 12 years. And we were not each other's target audience because he was single when we met and I was married. We had no need for each other. But I always thought he was nice and I always thought he was funny, and we kept in touch and we just, hitting like on each other's status. And look, there came a day when we were both in the right place at the right time, and we were very warm leads, a hot lead, if you will, because we had laid that foundation for 12 years and we'd gotten to know each other for 12 years without ever speaking, just seeing what was going on in each other's lives. And when we finally got together, we already knew so much about each other, and it was just it was a beautiful relationship to launch. So you can apply that to business as well. Someone's watching you, someone's following you. They can say, I've been wanting to work with you for 10 years, but they just hasn't been the time or the place. So yeah, it's all about putting it out there.
Are you there, Nick?
Yes, Paul.
Firstly, Clea, that's a lovely story. Thank you for sharing that. Nick, I'd like to address this to you, but around what Clea has been talking to us about. Something I've always wondered, and you and I have spoken a number of times. So you host these events on a Tuesday night, and typically you send the first email out on a Monday telling us what's coming up. And then on the Tuesday, you send it out about another 3 or 4 times. And I think in one of our conversations, you said that you send it out to up to 5,000 or your entire database. And just picking up on what Clea said, how does that work? Because, I mean, I know you and therefore I'll never unsubscribe, but surely you must have a huge number of people who don't want to receive each Tuesday or each Monday, Tuesday, 5 emails about the same thing. So can you tell me, how do you manage your way around that? I've often wondered, and I'd love your thoughts on it.
Actually, that's a really good question. And it may surprise some people that my unsubscribe rate is very low. So we might get, I think we'd be lucky to get 5 unsubscribes each week. But we're adding more to the list every week than 5 as well. And I've actually got 2 processes for people to unsubscribe from my list. So one of them is the general unsubscribe, which means I unsubscribe from everything, which is right down the very bottom of the email. But just below my signature, I have another line which says something like, if you don't want to receive these emails for this particular show, but you do want to continue receiving other emails, just click this one to unsubscribe from this list here. And so out of those 5 that would unsubscribe, pretty much 100% hit that one, not the one right down the bottom. So they still want to hear, what it is that we've got to, that I'm talking about, but for whatever reason, they don't want to come to the show. And it might be that they can't make it. It's just the wrong time. They're not interested in it. There's a whole lot of reasons for it too. And I think sometimes we can read in, when someone unsubscribes, they don't like me, but that's not always the case. It's like, it's all sorts of reasons in there. The other comment that I get is people say, oh, you do email a lot as well. And so I'm able to say to them, we email on Monday night, we email Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, and then just before the show starts. So that's four emails over that period of time. And we email after the show as well. So, this is the new process we've got in place. So I think it's about 3 hours after the show. That's when the after show email goes out as well too. But the result of all that is that people do come through and work with us because of those emails. And the most prevalent comment that I get from people that I don't know is, I spoke to someone just the other day who reached out to me and said, I keep on getting your emails in my inbox. I thought I'd better reach out and connect with you because I need this or I need that. So I think it's about that whole, even if people don't read it, they don't want it. It's just I'm always present in their life. It's like that annoying little brother. I'm always there.
Now, look, well, thanks for explaining that because, and just drilling it down a bit further, because I've always been intrigued by it, and it does really relate to what Clea has been encouraging us to do, and that is to put yourself out there. So, am I right in saying that you do send it out to about 5,000 people each time?
We send it out to 5,000 people on my list, and we're also posting across
Yeah.
all of those social media platforms multiple times a day as well.
Do you also use it to pick up on unsubscribes? Sorry, not unsubscribes, but bounced emails, so that if it's going out and bounces,
Yeah.
is your team working on that and trying to update and keep your database perpetually up to date?
We do. Yeah, we do. So definitely those bounced emails, because if you're not addressing those bounced emails, that can affect your sending reputation as well if you've got a high number of bounce emails. So we're always trying to follow those up and correct the emails. It's not that the emails are wrong. Sometimes people move address, they move companies, all of those sort of things.
And just a final comment. So sending it out, as you say, on the Monday night, and then I think you're saying 3 times on the Tuesday. Your thoughts, and again, I'm just trying to reconcile it back to what Clea took us through, because you personally are an excellent example of what Clea has been talking about, that is putting yourself out there. So do you have any consideration about whether 4 times a week for an email is the right number? Is that what you found?
The reason why I do it is that people don't see all of the emails. So someone might see it on the Monday, but they miss the one on Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon, but they might get it at the last one just before we start. Generally the one that's just before we start, that's really just a reminder email. It's like we're just about to kick off, and so people say, oh, that's right, that's on tonight.
No, look, that's fine. Thanks very much. I've often been thinking about it, and I'm about to launch a newsletter, and Clea, I fall into the category that you touched on about being a bit anxious about sending it out and worrying about unsubscribes and the rest. And I'm looking at doing it once a month. And I was just keen to hear the other side of the story where Nick is doing it so frequently and what his experience was. So thanks to both of you for sharing both your encouragement and your experience. So thank you.
I think the other
sorry, my other thing is just give it a try. You don't have to commit. If you say, I'm going to do this once a week, do it once a week for a few months. If you're not feeling it, try something else. It's not set in stone. So you can swap and try different things. Sorry, Nick, to interrupt.
No, that's all good. I was just thinking that it's not a question as to whether you're emailing too often. It's more often a question is, are you too boring?
Yeah.
So if you've got things that are of value and of interest, then people will stick around your circle. But if you've got something that's of no value or not relevant or whatever, that's when people are going to unsubscribe.
Yeah, unsubscribe. Yeah. Actually, I wanted to re-emphasize, because I had been watching what you'd been doing, and I love the fact that you have 2 ways of unsubscribing, and you touched on that before, where you can unsubscribe totally, which hopefully they don't, or alternatively, if they don't want to get the weekly emails, the one that comes out 4 times on a Monday, Tuesday, they can just unsubscribe from that. I think that's a very clever way of differentiating as to who you're targeting and when. So I found that helpful. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, comments on anything we've talked about? Actually, just you brought up newsletters, Paul. What's your take on newsletters, Clea? Because often people say, I've done a newsletter and it didn't work, but they did it 3 times. And the problem was they couldn't commit to the time to do it for 12 months or whatever. But yeah, newsletters in today's day and age.
My newsletter is called 30-second content marketing tips. So people know that it's 4 sentences. I don't have the time or the headspace to do more than that. And I'm telling people what they're getting before they even open it. And so that's been really good and it's worked for me. Marketing is part art, part science. You have to test, you have to try, you have to give it a bit of a run to test your hypothesis. If you're really concerned, maybe have a chat to a couple of people, get a few different ideas and try a few different things. But if you're really clear with what the newsletters have to offer and what the content is, you will probably start to get a little bit better engagement. I found like that little strategy for me, 30-second tips, I found it really effective because everyone's got 30 seconds and they know they're just going to get one little nugget and then they can contact me or not. I think too, the trap we fall into with marketing is like, well, I offered it to them and they didn't want it. But again, it's that, that's not how marketing works. It's kind of cumulative. And, like one post can get you a $7,000 job and you think, why have I done everything else? But the more you've got out there, the volume, produces volume, the more you're increasing your chances of someone going, oh yeah, I remember I saw that guy the other day. He was in my inbox. Hang on, let me go look for him. Like if someone says to me, who's a web developer? Nick comes to mind because he's just in my inbox 15 times a week. So now I'm an advocate for Nick because he's at the top of my mind, not the bottom.
Just again, pursuing that conversation. And as to why I've decided to do the newsletter, I had an experience that, and Nick, you know what I do, which is basically getting my clients in front of their ideal clients. And I previously would go through my 10,000 contacts in my database, thinking of client A as to whether or not this person could be a good contact for client A, client B, client C, etc. And then I would send off a small number of emails each week, like 4 or 5 only. And one particular week I sent off the 4 or 5 promoting one of my clients and introducing them to the selected 4 or 5 for that week. And 2 of the 5 came back and said, look, thanks, Paul. Look, as it happened, we did have a need, but a month ago, we already engaged another organization. So look, at this stage, we're not looking to take it any further. And it was that disappointment of realizing, well, that's crazy. At the rate I'm going at 5 a week and 10,000 contacts, I'll be dead and they'll be dead by the time I get through the lot. So what I've decided to do with the newsletter is to send it out to the full 10,000 once a month and showcase 5 of my clients, not about me, but about my clients, just their website, 5 or 6 bullet points about what each does, and then inviting the recipient to, if you'd like to have a chat to any or all of the above, let me know and I'd be pleased to introduce you. And it was really that disappointment of what didn't work and realizing the ridiculousness of what I had been doing that made me realize I needed to take that jump, which I think is really clear what you and Nick have both been encouraging us all to do, to take that jump.
And I think one of my favorite books is one by Dr. Seuss called Green Eggs and Ham. And, Green Eggs and Ham is about always asking, always being there and always, sort of being in that, being present, it's being in the face of that person. Do you want green eggs and ham? No, I don't want green eggs and ham. I don't want it on a bus and in a train. So Dr. Seuss actually has some of the best business books out there, and that's one of my favorites. So maybe I should be profiling that in the Cool Online Tools.
Yeah, that's content. I'm definitely going to share that. And there's another great book written by Erica Kramer, and it's literally called Confidence Feels Like Shit. And it's uncomfortable to put yourself out there and be confident. You are at risk. And, everyone stepping out on stage is having a moment of, oh God, I don't want to do this. It's not nice. It's not a nice feeling. But getting the results feels good.
Another example is that fellow, the American broadcaster and MC, Steve Harvey. And he's got a wonderful YouTube. It's simply called Jump. And I don't know whether you've seen it or not, but if you haven't, really encourage people to go looking for it. It's 5 minutes of encouraging you to do exactly what you've been seeking to do tonight, Clea. So thank you.
Thanks for contributing as well.
Clea and I I can't spell, can I? I just put it into chat there. So just ignore the name, just go with the title. Clea and I were having a conversation just before, we came on the show tonight. I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Clea, but Clea was saying that she did stand-up comedy and sort of talking about how that, and And I've done theatre as well, and how that actually helps with your, well, not content so much, but the confidence to get out and go and do things.
Yeah, Toastmasters as well. I put myself through Toastmasters, just practicing with a room full of people who are supportive, and that was a really good experience for me.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Any other questions or comments from anyone else? I see some nods around the room, so I guess there's a bit of agreement and you know, we're on the right track with this all. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, Clea?
So I have a weird name, so just type it on into Google. You'll probably see my website or my LinkedIn or my Instagram. Please, yeah, connect with me. That's great. And my email is Clea, CLEA. I'll put it in the chat quickly rather than spell it all out. But yeah, always happy to have a chat if you want to brainstorm. Hang on, I can't talk and type at the same time.
While you're doing that, I have to say I am very pleased to hear that story about, you know, how you stalked your partner and he stalked you sort of on social media. That's one of the comments that I often have, you know, as people are posting, you know, this event on social media, is that you may in fact meet your partner there, and you are the one person that's demonstrated that.
Yeah, it's just lead nurturing. He doesn't like it when I tell that story, but I think it's a good one because truly, like, we didn't talk for 10 years. But we were in each other's consciousness, and it just made it all much more easier and delightful when we finally kind of came together as a couple.
That's fabulous. So yeah, business is just the same, isn't it?
Yep. Yep. It's all just lead nurturing. We're wooing our clients.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, let's move through to the door prize. So the door, just tell us what that door prize is again, Clea.
I'm going to have a deep dive at your homepage and about page, let you know if the copy needs bit of love, bit of tweaking, if the messaging needs some tweaking. I'm going to pull out a bunch of keywords that you can be creating content around to draw in some SEO. And I'm going to do a review and let you know as well if there's any kind of major SEO boo-boos on your website.
Fabulous. So stay in the room. You need to be in the room to win it. So don't disappear yet. And let's bring up our wheel of names. I'm hoping we're going to bring up our wheel of names. Well, actually, the internet was a bit unstable, I think, for my team there.
Well, this is cool.
All right, let's just check this. All right, we don't appear to have our wheel of names happening at the moment. Oh, hang on. Is it there? Yes, it is. All right. I've just happened to have got everybody's up here on the screen. All right, everyone's name is in this wheel of names. So let's spin the wheel and see who our lucky winner is tonight. And it is Cal Holiday. You guys know each other, don't you?
Kel, we're due a chat, so this is great. This is great timing. I'm excited to reconnect.
Sounds good. That's 2 weeks in a row.
I was going to say, Cal, how's all this happening? Is someone rigging this, or
Mate, it's yeah. Put in the energy.
I was going to say, is this a new AI tool that I need to know about? Excellent. All right, well done. And it sounds like you know each other. We'll connect you anyway, but yeah, but if you know each other, you can organise that yourselves. Once again, let's put our hands together for Clea for such an excellent presentation tonight. And hopefully some good value in there for you to be able to go and implement that. No excuses, no imposter syndrome. Let's just get out there and get it done. I expect to see 4 emails from each of you in my inbox over the next couple of days. If you enjoyed the session and you'd like to watch it again, it will be on the Smash Go YouTube channel. I think tomorrow afternoon it'll be up there. The link for that will be in chat. So now's a good time to actually save the chat because all of those links are in there. You save the chat with those 3 dots on the top right-hand side. And of course, if you know someone else that you think would want to see this or would find value in it as well, send them along to the YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. It'll all be up there and they can catch the full conversation on the channel. Next week, it's all about podcasting. how to set up a podcast, how to optimize it, how to profit from it, and how to make it work. So the speaker next week is Joel Trappiani, he's very interesting in this space as well too. So come and register for that one. That one also sounds like it's going to be an excellent session. All right, well, that's it for tonight. Hopefully next week I will be back in Australia and we'll do it from my little studio in Australia. But until then, have a good night and we'll see you next week.